wasted a bit of time. After that, they needed to try and push in, but 4 members of Damwon Kia still ready to go, ready to fire. And we're able to shut down Talon's attack. The first attempt. Now, we're headed up towards the top floor now. Completely different kind of site to go at. Might see grenades be more prevalent here, especially from below, if they do manage to get that under control. Think of, for example, taking care of that Mute Jammer onto the breach, but potentially as well getting some inside of the bedrooms and bunks, just in case people would be hiding there.
It's that sort of worrying first round, I think, for Talon. Okay, let's have a little look back at Damwon Kia on the previous split, where it wasn't the most convincing Damwon Kia we've seen. They were a bit disheartened, I think, as the easiest way of putting it. They didn't have the same aggression. The passion and the way they love to attack and approach map on their opponents was a little bit missing, and you could kind of feel that frustration through the screen. Here, this split so far, the only undefeated team in APAC North at this point with all the 4 points. They're feeling like that old Damwon Kia. They're feeling like they're being a lot more possessive over what they want to hold onto on the map itself. They're being adventurous, they're being aggressive, and that's that worrying thing when you're anyone that's stuck against them, because if they found their mojo again, oh, it's groovy, baby.
Kia, they kind of need to play like this. This is how they're at their best. They need to force enemies to respect them and space that they so desire. It is up to the other teams to play into that and not give them what they want. Because Damwon Kia, if they do start taking that ground, it's very easily to get overwhelmed here. Especially with fraggers like, well, Yas and now Woogieman finding his groove as well, and he's there to support. It's just a star roster on the side of APAC North.
Yas has himself a rotation here over Attic. It's not the most common way of having it already open and trying to be in control of the other side of tower, but you can see Talon, they wanted to go for something short and sharp here. All the drones were set up around Trophy, they've obviously got the Valk cams in, and they've been able to get themselves close enough, but then the Nooks sort of hit a moment of, okay, well, I don't want to dive entirely through. That is a very well-placed camp. Tucked behind the fan blades, not quite caught out. They know that Fana's there, they could go for something aggressive, but they don't know that Nook is there. So they've just got a sight there, but if they drop it inside the brain, 70, there's a ping towards where that camera is. Well, there's Talon, a minute 30,
still haven't cleared out the Mute Jammer, I believe, so that means that they're enabled. It's going to be a huge kill on Rin. That grenade was meant to get rid of the Mute Jammer. That means that stays on now. They cannot open up that main breach. Misa will have to go elsewhere now. They might have to force themselves through the door and the window.
Oh, that is just that moment, that strike. That is Damwon Kia, and that is the terrifying nature of the marble. They pulled themselves back towards the bottom of white. They're going to see if they can just get that intel on that player on the swing. It's them, and well, there's a second. The swing line onto Dining, but again, we're under a minute left now. They have edges, they have a bit of control, but that's really it. They don't have anything locked in towards the side. Heady's just going to have to try and deep dive and see if they can swing their way through. Maybe they're actually going to go for the wider Attic rotation at this point, which again, by the time he gets there and starts to burn a hole through, there's going to be no more time. It got relocked. Heady's going to make it work. He'll have about 20 seconds to do the distance. There's 3 players, and Yas is one of them who decides he wants to go the other way through it. Has his opening again. 5 versus 3, 30 seconds.
There's not a lot of time left. They did make a small opening now. Now, this grenade is going to be absolutely crucial, but I believe it bounced off. Actually got zapped by the ADS there, so it's not going to be getting anything. Woogieman goes aggressive, coded. We'll be able to find a kill as well, and it's only left up to Demic now on these white stairs. Can he clutch it out in a 1v5? The answer is no. A flawless round for Damwon.
I mean, it's just terrifying. This is the Damwon Kia that you sort of missed last split. This is the Damwon Kia that kind of shows that they're the strongest team in this region and can be one of the strongest teams in potentially any region when they're on their game. It's not just about their positioning, it's not just about the holes that they're doing, but the coordination and comms. Yeah. The rotation there of Rin. Round up from Laundry Stairs to get the kill onto the person removing the Mute Jammer. The play around Yas of how long he could sit around the tower before he pulled himself back, before he swung back in. All of that built on those Valkyrie cams, the calls, the comms. We saw pretty much every single time our observer went to a cut of Damwon Kia, somebody was on a Valkyrie cam getting that intel.
That was it, and they realized as well, hey, the big tower's about to be pushed. They're going to go opening it with a Maverick. Yas is there to respond. And that is just because they play that information game so well. Really struggling, Talon that is, with those Valkyrie cams, with the information that Damwon Kia has on them. And I'm wondering to see, you know, if they continue to struggle, how long will it take for them to start picking up an IQ, for example? It's not an operator you often see, but it might be necessary in this case, is because after that, you know, they went for a blind spray through to get the mute jammer. They did manage to succeed it, but you might be able to be more efficient if you have that scanner. You can just one-tap it away.
Now, with the Oster on the board, it paints the idea of a plant onto stage. You sort of get yourself stacked up on T2 and T1 with those Oster shields, one covering the control of Attic, because if you don't have that, well, they can just swing down and get you, and the other one controlling the plant itself. Katsang, in the meantime, a very early play on the smoke, just going to see if they can actually rotate their way out of it, finds themselves into an semblance of safety. For them, Katsang, that's a little bit of a blow. I don't think he wanted to be caught out where he was, but he's had to use one of his canisters, which, against an Oster plant on stage, is vital late game utility.
Yes, but him being alive is more important than him dying in that tower, not able to use any of it. I believe that is both Valkyrie cameras now taken out onto that tower, so they lack the information out there. No opportunity to try and go back for a bit of a flank. Still players around in the attic though, so as soon as they do start to put pressure down on the area, I'll be able to get some gunfire through. Oh, that is devastating.
Jeez, there it is. The shotgun swings. Rin's able to find Hedy at the same time. Within a breath, they've lost the Oster from the big plant, and they've lost their Maverick as a way of trying to get control of the potential of the walls against those mute jammers. Misa, they're now going to see if they can try and take over the top. They do still have the 2 exothermics, but you've got to make them count where you play them, and you know you're going to at least have to have a breach onto that stage side. The play in the grenade round and the opposite, just going to go for a close bounce, but at this point they've pulled themselves out. Marble, they swing up. If they're looking like they're just going to try and strong arm their way through, they're going to meet Yas very quickly. You've got Katsang on the swing round, and well, with the shotgun ready to go, they're hoping that they go for the aggression.
This is Nitro cells still available on the side of Yas, so as soon as he realizes one is coming through the green door, might be able to blow a Marble up there, potentially Demic as well, depending on when they do start to move, but it's still a 5-on-3 situation. Yas trying to fall back there, might have almost got caught off. Flashbang's coming through. Grenade should be able to get Katsang if he stands up. That's the most unfortunate timing.
Oh yeah, that's one of them siege timing things. It's now suddenly a 3 versus 3 at the same time. Yas got caught out behind the shield, so Rin is going to take up the mantle. They have the breach open. That's that important part with the exothermic, but with the Oster off the board, it becomes such a dangerous place to try and stick it. You have a little bit of visual cover, but not a lot of bullet cover. There's no way that you can really tuck yourself in, and you can see that Misa's going to see if he can make a movement. Boogeyman has a disagreement with that idea with the shield on the corner. There isn't quite that full swing round onto split, so they're going to see if they can try and pick up sticks and go a little bit wider. 20 seconds now. And they're really trying to recollect a cold kit in the 3 versus 2. The rotation through to the kitchen side, really their only option, but you can see the pings are continual and it's coming through that intel game. There's Neon gone, there's Coated with one more. The spray against the door from Demic. The Zofia can keep going, but at that same point, with only a flicker of health, 3 other players in 5 seconds, you can get one, but there's 2 more and a kit to put down. It's 3-0 DK.
There it is, the ACS coming in at the end there. Found the thermite now. The second kill as well to lock it off. 3-0 down on Kia. It started off strong. They managed to get that double entry onto the offset. That is devastating. There's basically the entire attack gone to some extent. You can no longer plant safely there. So it might have been a bit too over-aggressive there. Losing your Maverick at the same time, troublesome, but not the end of the world, especially with the way it was set up. They managed to bring it back well. Those 2 kills, but eventually it took too much time. They should have probably just pushed into the kitchen earlier on when they realized it was safe and no one was out there. Instead, they still trying to go for a stage plan, and that really hurt them. Tech timeout. Talon.
Yeah, a moment to talk.
Rightfully so.
You go 3-0 down on your attack on Oregon. Oregon can be a good balanced fight between teams, but you usually expect to at least get the tertiary side. And it's also the manner in which this is happening. I think one of the things that we're seeing from the side of Damwon Kia, if we're going to compliment them, has been doing is that intel game is really, really strong. Talon, sometimes it feels like a little bit of missed opportunities. That round, some of the best capitalizing on it. The kill onto Yas at the same time as the grenade through the drone hole was because they were finally able to get some proper intel on positioning. So the Damwon Kia players, you look at the previous 2 rounds, how many deaths were from a DK player just swinging an angle Talon wasn't expecting?
It starts with the Osa, the shotgun coming around the corner, taking you out before you can even get the Talon shield down, and it just builds on there. Unfortunately for the side of Talon, who really want to hold on to the 2nd place. They really want to be top 2 because that's where everything is to be gained. We usually always talked about top 4. That's gone now. It is just top 2, an instant ticket to Berlin in that case, and whoever wins this is most likely to go. whoever loses this will still be in second place, but certainly the rest of the league has the opportunity to catch up to you today.
Jackal back on the board here for the attempt on the take, but it seems like a more controlled hold from Damwon Kia.
No. Controlled adapt, yes. Rin out coming through, taking down Soldier. The Jackal again, the first to fall.
I was literally about to say controlled hold because all of them are in the basement as Rin swings up.
Just runs out the
gets
front
a kill,
door.
and then goes up to the top floor. My point was going to stand if Rin hadn't then massively disagreed that Rin wanted to not be in a controlled position and wanted to be on the top floor.
If anything, this is control. Keeping Talon down, making sure they cannot even launch any attack or get some information with that Jackal, because he hasn't even been able to enter the building yet. Just running up to it. He's trying to get the electric ball sort of done. So be careful for a potential grenade to come around though. That could take it out. But quick control being gained here by Talon. Even though they just lost an early member, they are working on that first floor. I'm not sure if someone is still up on that third, but there's two people on the back stairs here on that tower. Is Airjab will push one away potentially? Two actually set up. Bit of an aggressive angle by Boogeyman here.
It's the positioning of Katsang though, because that's the thing. They don't know the Katsang's tucked around onto that corner. It's not the most usual place, because if they get a read on you, they'll probably get a kill on you. They can hit you quite easily, and the longer Katsang's there, the more of a problem he could be. The air jab is gone, and now they have the chance to rotate later on. Not sure if we got both, but definitely at least got one. And you can see Misa was still holding and hoping that someone would come around. Maybe they heard that or not, but at least doing some of the work about 30 seconds earlier. Still currently setting themselves up for what seems like a laundry plant. They're missing the Jackal, but they've also still got a lot of players left to get through.
2 Foots being spotted there to know that. One is in the hallway, one is in a little cubby. It's Coda out there, yes, in the hallway. But Rin and spotted here inside of the freezer, and that might be problematic. Some missed air jab going through. They are getting the flashbangs in though, so they can get a grenade around the corner. Hopefully they will find someone with that, but the Magnet will be catching that, so not the case.
Rin getting a little bit aggressive, yes, swings around. You can see Misa's getting the drone game on. There's the C4, doesn't quite get the kill, but Woogieman down from the far side is able to find a kill over the top of the corner. Ooh, a great swing from Marble. They're able to at least bite in, but Rin bites back instantly. Misa, they're on the wrong side of a smoke canister, wanting to try and dive the way in. It buys perfect time here for Damwon Kia to just resettle. It's a 3 versus 2, and Misa has a different score. They want to settle as they try and bark and bite their way back through onto the site, and Hetty finds Rin. Suddenly, Talon are in a pretty good position. They do still have to try and get the kit down, only 15 seconds, but they know that there's a player behind Laundry. They want to bait the push. The flashes are coming through. Misa's going to see if they can maybe go for the swing. They take it. It's the 1 versus 2 situation. Katsang, he's got himself right tucked around the corner. If he just finds the man with the kit, well, he gets the man covering it. The kit goes down just in time. Suddenly, Misa, they've done huge bits on this round. They just have to take out one more Damwon Kia player here. Katsang, he's going for the swing round, moves away from the blind, tucked in round on the close box. It's a bit of a moment, a bit of a count for a tiny bit of audio here. Misa's just going to hold off the angle with the close cut, gets the shots, doesn't quite get the full connection. They know where he is. He's going on for the hold! Katsang removed by Misa.
For a second there, Misa even spotted the footsteps there, was able to keep track of where he was going with that one little drono inside the cubby there. A good clutch coming in from the side of Talon. A 4v2 turned around into a 2v2, and then a 1v2 post plant there. Well played by them. It was a good attempt of trying to bring it back. Unfortunately for Damwon Kia, it's not going to be a flawless half, at least not anywhere close now, because that first round is won by Talon. Because they were quite on track to be receiving one here. Now they're headed up towards the bedrooms again. The tactical timeout working wonders for Talon.
Success is definitely somewhere. It was 4 versus 5. They had a very early loss, and they were able to swing it back around, which isn't easy. I think one of the things that we got a bit of an idea there was they started to bite back instantly. I think from before we've seen Talon, it's not that they weren't sure about where Damwon Kia entirely was in those late engagements. They were in the early ones, but not in the late ones. But they would often try and take multiple sort of fights at once, lose a couple of ones, and then suddenly they're a bit stuck. Here they seem to try and bite back quicker. They swung in, they lost that first, and then went for the second, were able to take it, which is a difference of pace that we haven't had from them in the first 3 rounds.
Heady finding those kills inside the freezer though is absolutely crucial, as it allowed them to, of course, get into that position where Misa could push up, get that kill on the laundry machine, and get that plant down before the last Fury member coming through. Rin spotted, needs to be falling back again. The window will be watched by Demic from the bus, and Rin is deciding whether or not to go for it. Could lose you alive, Rin. Should have actually lost it there, but does stay alive somehow.
It's not the first time.
Why don't you just go through the kitchen? It's safe.
It's not the first time we've seen a Damwon player just drift past bottom of white window and get absolutely torn up, but not die. And that's the important sort of fabric of the story there, is they're able to keep themselves going, and here they're able to at least keep themselves alive underneath. Talon have set themselves up this sort of web of information and drones around. They're seeing if they can get the cannons. The Valkyrie cameras were pretty massive in the previous round in terms of Damwon getting a lock-in, and it seems like they've kind of ignored that idea of trying to be a bit sneaky. The Nook is obviously gone, they're not getting themselves in quick onto Armory, they're going for, well, a loud take, because they know that they were spotted all the time before, so why not go flat? Why play those grenades underneath? Let's just get it open. Oh, they got him, and Demic got Gatsang.
That's the entry kill though, but most of the breach just have been taken care of by an impact grenade from Rin, and they're trying to fight back now as Marble is looking to put some damage up onto the roaming DK players as well. They need to hurry back towards the site, but look at what they have. They've just opened up 2 little view holes. That's all they can work with here. There's no plant coming out of this area.
Okay, well, I was going to say things were looking up with there being loud, but apparently they didn't have that cover on the player underneath, and a well-placed and played impact is able to at least tear through every single X-Kairos pretty much. Now they've got that tricky situation. How do we drive ourselves through? The drone did have a reveal on Yas. Yas does have the chance to move out of that territory and lock it up. There's still the reinforcement left in pocket, and at this point Talon's trying to work out how they're doing it. White Stairs might be that approach here. Yarn was able to get themselves all the way in, looking for where Coated is holding on the corner. Coated's got to move. He's aware that it's soft underneath and he can't stick there for too long. There goes the Banshee. There's a bit of the cover on from to the opposite floor. They've got themselves some angle. The burn of the flash round on the corner, the pressure of the smoke tries to stop the entrance, but they're going to go for it anyway. The Hibana, they've snuck themselves through onto the default passport. They're tucked in, and Soldier tucks around the corner. They're able to find Coated on the far side, and most importantly, find the kid. No, it doesn't. They pulled themselves off. The second C4 doubled it down and found the fish at the end of the hook. It's a 3 versus 3. Massive damage to Yas and Rin. There's a little bit more, and suddenly they're now kind of clutching on, but with 10 seconds left, it's all down to Rin. Caught on the other side, can't quite get the tuck on the players. There it is! And Talon just drove into the site and held on for dear life.
There's nothing else they could have done there. They lost the diffuser with the second C4 coming out. The cover not quite on there. It was a good call. They went in deep. They managed to get through that smoke. No one actively watching it. Unfortunately, not that diffuser down. Made it quite close towards the end there, but luckily everybody was just in a slither of HP there, and that allowed them to clutch it out. It puts them up to 3-2. In a sense, seems to be brought out here, but they might still be picked out. They're really picked. They might. So we have to wait and see whether or not we're going to see sense. I hope that we do.
You do?
I do hope that.
Where do you stand on the debate of what you call it?
I'm calling it the light screens.
The light screens.
Yeah, it's the light screen. It's literally what they call it in the patch notes as well. So I'm going with patch notes.
Well, you do go with patch notes a lot.
Yeah. So I don't understand the debate.
Those at home, medics are,
Yeah, you called me nerd.
just call that, but via our econ system. I would agree. I like green screens.
But they're not really green.
Doesn't matter. What if you've got colorblind mode on? Does colorblind mode affect them?
No, I don't think so. It doesn't affect the lasers on the Claymore either. So,
Oh.
so they will stay turquoise.